Hey everyone, welcome to Intuitive Vibes Narc Survival 101. Your girl Erica here. So of course, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to listen in first. And of course, go through some of my content if you find it to be helpful in any way, shape, or form. If you like what you see, then be sure to hit the subscribe button so you are notified every time a video comes up. And of course, be sure to join us every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live chat sessions, our live therapy sessions. Of course, to all of my returning subscribers, welcome back, guys. Now, I just wanted to do this really quick video on pretty much why the narcissist would never change. I mean, I know a lot of people look at things and look at life a little bit differently than others, and they tend to think that, well, people are capable of change. People are capable of actually changing their ways to become a better person. Unfortunately for a narc, without some severe therapy or really, really hard look in the mirror, they're not going to change. See, narcissists, first and foremost, narcissists, as we know, can be anybody in your environment. Family, friends, love interest, colleagues, you name it. They can be anybody. Narcissists are usually surrounded by people who are considered to be enablers. Okay? So if you notice how there are people who have been in their lives for extended periods of time, and you've come out of the whole veil lifting off thing, and you still see that people are still within their environment, and you're wondering to yourself, how the hell do these people not see what I saw? How the hell do these people not react the way I'm reacting? These people are enablers, okay? And enablers are people who are pretty much allowing the abuse to happen. They're allowing the abuse to happen. They're walking on eggshells so not to tip the narc over. Here's a prime example. Before you had gotten into a dynamic with a narcissist or a manipulator, abuser, what have you, and let's say you had a friend who was in a very similar relationship with someone else, and you were standing on the outside looking in, and you saw that friend putting up with certain types of behaviors by the other person. And you're wondering to yourself, why the hell are you letting this happen? And you're trying to talk to your friend. You're trying to express to them that it's not healthy. It's toxic. It's, you really need to get out of this situation. But of course, your friend is still deciding to stay within the dynamic. Oh, I know they're like this, they're like that, but they didn't mean it. They didn't mean what they said. They didn't mean what they did. Yeah, they cheated on me, but I forgave them, and we're working on it. And that's what enabling is. Enabling is making excuses for the abuse. Or this may seem familiar, where you were in a certain setting, certain dynamics at that time with your narcissist, or plural, narcissists. And you have basically seen certain things that normal people would not consider normal. But certain behaviors were being normalized, were being considered normal in that particular environment. See, narcissists are surrounded by certain types of people. They're surrounded by enablers. So you were either going to be one of the few. You were either going to be an enabler, you were either going to be scapegoated, or you're another narcissist. I mean, those are pretty much the general types of people they would have in their environments. A lot of the time, narcissists usually have enablers, people that they've managed to manipulate, people that they've managed to abuse covertly and have them accept that abuse as a form of punishment. The enabler was being punished because they had not complied with the narcissist. So the narcissist decides to project certain behaviors onto them. Silent treatment, withdrawal of affection, narcissistic rage, different types of behaviors are projected onto the enabler, the victim, because, of course, the narcissist has to have their way. Now, this is why they will never change. A narcissist, especially if they're older, a lot older, they've gone through many years of their lives managing to manipulate people, abuse people, gaslight people, do all types of things to people and get their way. They got what they wanted out of situations. They will not change because they don't see anything wrong with themselves. A narcissist will not self-reflect. They won't look at themselves and say, maybe there is something wrong with me. What you saw was narcissistic discard. They saw, I just don't want to be with you anymore and you can't handle it. What you saw as gaslighting, they saw, now you're making things up in your head trying to say that I was manipulating you. What you saw as narcissistic rage, they saw, well, if you hadn't pissed me off by saying the stupid things that you were saying or doing the things you were doing, then I wouldn't have gotten aggravated with you. What you saw as them cheating on you, they saw as, well, you weren't fulfilling me in this relationship. You weren't fulfilling me sexually, so I had to go somewhere else. Do you understand? It is not about them. It's always been about you from the very beginning to the very end. So every time something bad happened in your relationship, whenever situations presented itself as being toxic, they automatically put the blame onto you. Well, this relationship isn't working out because of you. Well, this relationship isn't working out because you're insecure, because you keep questioning me. Yet, they're not seeing the things that they're doing that's making you question them. Well, this relationship isn't working out because we're constantly fighting. Yet, they're not seeing that the constant fights are because of their problems, their inner insecurities, their jealousy, their projections. They're not looking at any of that. They're looking at it as, this is going downhill, not because of me, but because of you. And they've managed to live their lives like this. They have managed to project and deflect onto other people. Nothing is wrong with them. So whenever friends go to them and say, well, how come this relationship didn't work out? What was wrong with this one? It's always been that way on their end. And the reason it's been that way is because throughout their lives, they've managed to convince friends, they've managed to convince family, they've managed to convince everybody else that there was always something wrong with the partner, that there was nothing wrong with them. If you're dealing with a narcissist, first and foremost, you're dealing with someone who already comes from a family of narcissists, probably quite a few. There probably are a few enablers in there, and there's probably a few black sheep in there as well. But the narcissists in that family dynamic already know. They already know that the narcissist themselves is the one who fucked things up. They know for a fact. Everybody else is oblivious. Everybody else is just pretty much like, wow, really? I can't understand why that person would be that way, but they didn't seem like that. Are you sure? And in some cases, most cases, they believe the narcissist. They're going to believe the narcissist over you, especially if they've known the narc longer. Bottom line, guys, the reason a narcissist would not change, because why would they? When they, one, don't feel anything is wrong with them. Two, have managed to give you very little, yet make it appear to be a grand gesture throughout your relationship. When they've managed to project onto you, they've managed to sit there and accuse you of things that they were doing themselves. They've managed to cheat on you and get away with it and actually get your forgiveness and allow them back in. They've managed to covertly bully you. They've managed to make you feel this big, and still make you addicted enough to the point where you were either begging to be with them, you were constantly obsessed with them. They've managed to hurt you beyond belief. They've disgraced you. They've dishonored you. They've embarrassed you. They have done every and anything possible to convince everyone else that it was you who was the abuser, you who was the liar, you who was the cheater, you who was the problem in every single aspect as to why they are miserable, why they were miserable, why they were unsatisfied, when we know that narcissists are never satisfied. Yet, they still manage to keep you wrapped around their finger, thinking about them, obsessed with them, wondering what it is that you had done, leaving you no closure, making you go crazy. Why would they change? Why would they want to change when they can do all of this and possibly hoover you back in? Many are familiar with the hoover. They've managed to gain your forgiveness. They've managed to prove to you that, things will be a little different. When the reality is that they're just killing time. They're just killing time before they do the whole damn thing all over again. Why would they change? The more they trauma bond you, the deeper you're in. Why would they change? They can get things out of you. Why would they change? They could tug at your heartstrings. Why would they change? They can convince you that they've changed. Why would they change? They will not change, guys. Psychiatrists, therapists, psychologists even say it themselves. They will not change. And if you got a narc that's been embedded in it for so many years, don't bank on it. You will go broke. Don't bank on it. For a narcissist, why should I change? Why should I change when all I have to do is try to give you the most sincerest apology, expressing to you how sorry I am, expressing to you it will never happen again, expressing to you that we can work this out. You mean so much to me. You mean the world to me. You're the apple of my eye. When all that means is I'm going to hurt you again. But this time, I'm going to do it harder. And this time, I'm going to make it stick even more. Take that chance if you want to. There are plenty of victims. 160 million people aren't going to lie. They do not change. Understand that. Keep that up here. It's my time.